We bring in Daniel Lippman. He is in Arlington, Virginia, on the left of your screen. And Gordon Chang, who you see on the right, is here with me on set in New York City. Daniel's the author of Politico's Playbook and a reporter for Politico. Gordon is the author of A Nuclear Showdown: North Korea Takes on the World. Welcome to you both. Gordon, you're here with me, so you get the benefit of the first question. As we try and assess and digest what was really achieved from President Trump's meeting with Kim Jong-un, I want to note what the National Security Adviser John Bolton has come out today and said, effectively putting water on the idea that the U.S. might be okay with having North Korea simply freeze its nuclear program, no mandate to denuclearize. What do you make of the National Security Advisor having to make that clarification, considering that we're all wondering what the tangible results are after this meeting?
Yeah, Bolton was responding to that New York Times article this morning about freeze. That article was a little bit thin, and clearly Bolton has said that it is not accurate and clearly is unhappy about it. I don't think that the administration has agreed to that. You know, Errol, we look back, Clinton, Bush, Obama were all accused of doing essentially the same thing, and it wasn't true then. You know, with regard to what's happened and whether there was progress, you know, there was an historic event on Sunday. The question is whether it actually advanced this, and we really won't know because they're setting up working teams now. That does look good, but on the other hand, they've had working teams in the past, and they have not really progressed it. So, you know, right now we're in a position where the North Koreans are not making progress in giving up their nukes or missiles.
But to follow up to that, what's the difference between this week's working team and the team we've had for the past few years?
Yeah, that's me the question, and that's a critical issue. And you know, this is really up to Kim Jong-un. If he wants to talk to us in good faith, he will. If he doesn't, the presence of a working team isn't going to make any difference. Since that June summit last year with President Trump and Kim, you know, the North Koreans have been producing fissile material at a faster pace. They've been upgrading their missile and nuke facilities. They've been going in the wrong direction. And Trump has just been watching this and hoping that there will be some sort of positive movement, but hope is really not a policy.
Right. Daniel, I want to bring you in as well and kind of speak about how this may impact 2020. You have a number of Democrats vying for the nomination, criticizing President Trump for the visit to North Korea. They are calling this just an obvious photo op. But has the White House now effectively raised the stakes for the re-election? And has President Trump, as Gordon just mentioned, simply followed through on what every other president has done in trying to get North Korea at least to the table to negotiate?
From everything we've gathered, you know, Trump wants to make a deal with the North Koreans, and it would definitely help his re-election chances, which are, you know, some Republicans are pretty pessimistic about right now, especially after that debate last week with Kamala Harris, who would be a strong contender on a debate stage with Trump. And so, you know, Trump has not had enough success on the deal front where he can point to negotiations that he's done that have been successful and show his voters, hey, look, I'm actually making progress for the American people. You know, there's no China trade deal. They haven't really solved immigration. The economy is still doing well, but you have this threat from North Korea that just continues. And so Trump is banking that his personal diplomacy with Kim will make the difference when there's not that much evidence that Kim will be persuaded by that. You know, Gordon knows Asia very well from his books, and this is just not how you know, Kim and his family has operated in recent decades.
And Daniel, what about, you know, the idea that the trade war is easing somewhat, or at least it's not as bad as it could be? Are Republicans, members of the president's own party, giving the president credit for this, or is this a situation where they're effectively not going to give him credit for rolling back a problem of his own making?
Well, Congress is not in session this week because of the July 4th holiday, and so it's harder to gauge members' reaction. But you haven't seen, you know, many people lean in on this, and so I think they are waiting for the administration to actually make a deal. They're happy that there aren't going to be further trade tensions just right now, but if the economy takes a turn for the worse, many Republicans and Democrats will be blaming Trump for his tariffs and his trade wars, which have not helped matters in terms of consumer confidence and businesses wanting to invest if they are uncertain about how their profits will be hit by these trade wars.
Right, and China has a similar concern as well. Gordon, I want to get your thoughts on this development that the ban on U.S. supplying parts and components to Huawei has now ended. What do you make of that? I know you've taken specific issue with this deal in general.
Yeah, Larry Kudlow, the president's senior economic advisor, says that Huawei is still on the Commerce Department's entity list. Any company there, you can't deal with it unless you get a prior license from the Commerce Department. Right now we don't know what Commerce is going to do. They very well may grant licenses very easily, and that's going to be the issue. I don't think President Trump should have compromised about this, and the reason is that Huawei is a threat to American national security and the security of our partners. Its equipment has been used to surreptitiously download information, for instance, from the headquarters of the African Union for 5 years, and Huawei has been stealing U.S. intellectual property from the time it was founded in 1987. So this is something that the president should not have given on, especially because Xi Jinping, the Chinese ruler, publicly demanded this reprieve, and Trump complied with it. That's not a good sign if you're an American thinking, where are we going in these trade negotiations if the Chinese can order the President of the United States to do something?
All right, it seems like from you both, mixed marks for the president on his overseas Asia trip, but great to speak with you both, Daniel Lippman and Gordon Chang. Thanks so much for your time today.
Thank you.